Welcome to another Freedom Talk, where Vivekji takes questions from seekers across the world. Freedom Talks happen on Sundays during Vivekji's Meaningful Morning sessions. If you're interested in joining, find out more about Meaningful Mornings on our website, chinmayaniagara.com. Let's tune into this week's questions.
I'll take some questions, and these questions are coming from Why Do We? Our workshop on samskaras. Anonymous. How can you stop living your life based on expectations of others? True freedom seems impossible due to our attachments in relationships, thereby expectations. I shared recently, our own sense of incompleteness is what causes us to project happiness or completeness on others. And when you project completeness on others, you get attached to them. And the expression of attachment is expectation. The first way to dissolve this is practice completeness. Enjoy your own company. Engage in self-development, because when you do, your mind becomes quieter. You feel more complete. That way you don't project completeness and get attached and expect. Conversely, you find ways to give happiness, to be passionate about this giving, and you become much more accepting. The idea of this being impossible, we have to change such a mindset. Too many of us have this mindset that if you're in any sort of relationship, that with that comes a dependent joy. That is not accurate, that is not true. We have succumbed to following this conditioning. Number two, all of us should get into the habit of over-communicating rather than under-communicating. I expect all of you to just understand me. You would have the same expectation of me, correct? But how many of us actually understand ourselves and others? So, suppose it's your parent or spouse, child. Ask them what they expect out of life, living at home, you share with them too. And initially, expectations will be totally divergent. But the more you communicate, the more you commune, the more you come to unity for those expectations to overlap more. Even to the extent of agreeing to disagree. We say that all the time, but do you feel that? One more question. From a seeker in Seattle. When does life, jiva, enter the womb during the pregnancy cycle? The first samskara is called garbhadhana. This happens in month 0. In a biological way, it happens in month 0, that is before conception. The second samskara, which is called pumsavana, happens in the 3rd month, when the body and breath is formed. The third samskara, simanto nayana, happens in the 6th month. The jiva, that is the causal subtle body, enters into that fetus between the 3rd and 6th month. And this is why, in my limited medical understanding, having an abortion after the 3rd month becomes dangerous for the soon-to-be mother naturally physically, but from a metaphysical perspective, that causal body, that subtle body is there now. Fair? I'll take one more question. How does one prevent and combat burnout from parenting, career, etc.? This is anonymous. The first is to work smarter. You want my response to be, rest more. But my first response is to work smarter. We all work hard. I know that. But working smarter is different. That is being more organized, delegating more, sleeping earlier, practicing quietude. That makes you smarter. Even before burnout comes is boredom. First boredom, then burnout. And boredom is where I don't see the purpose in what I'm doing. But if you invest in yourself, if you engage in sadhana, then purpose is infused into you, into all that you do. You don't get bored, so you don't burn out. Number 2 is prioritize what you need to do. We all want to do everything, but you can't do everything. The body and mind are not designed for that. The body and mind are to follow the intellect, which is the equipment for prioritization. Us trying to do everything shows we're not using our intellect. Like some people who live to be liked. I want everyone to like me. Those are the people who burn out, correct? But when you have the insight that everyone is not going to like you, then you follow what is right, dharmic, etc. Prioritize what you need to do, not what you want to do. Even in Ikigai, this is a framework to choose your profession. One of the first circles is what you will be paid for. And the last circle is what the world needs. I feel the exact opposite flow should happen. You should choose a profession. You should choose a relationship based on what the world needs. And your last criteria should be what you will be paid for. There's so much to share about these questions. We'll continue to our reflector. And last week's reflector had a technical difficulty. So today she's given full freedom to share. This is our Hemalata ji from Chinmay Mission Cleveland. Hemalata ji, share away. She's not supposed to have technical difficulties.
Here we go. Namaste, Vivekji. I didn't know I had to okay it first before I could unmute. I kept on unmuting mine. Sorry about that. Namaste to everybody. It has been a blessing journey since I have come to know Vivekji. I have made many changes because of his teachings. The major one is Shravana and Manana. So Shravana has made me a believer, and Manana has made me strengthen my faith in what I'm learning from. And meaningful mornings have helped me to keep me on a positive tone and prayerful attitude throughout the day. The reflection adventures of the day are the daily application, whether it is taking a short, lukewarm shower, which did not tire my body, or getting up early, which gave me more time to do my sadhana, or keeping myself busy, picking up learning Sanskritam, or accepting or letting go of my expectations, which have brought pleasantness and trust between me and my family members and friends, or be in the present has helped me to stop and reset the integration between my mind and intellect many times. There is so much to talk about this practicality of reflections Vivekji is sharing with us every day. I'm sure all of you can identify with my feelings I'm sharing with you. And we all know that Vivekji likes acronyms. And my favorite one is PLEAD, to help deal with many difficult relationships. Pray, lead, engage, accept, and depart. Of course, it works. So I thank Vivekji for giving me this opportunity to share my thoughts. I'm looking forward to the Hi-Fi challenge.
Thank you for sharing so beautifully, Hemaji. When one practices the way that Hemaji does, one is able to be balanced. And I shared with all of you last week her diverse responsibilities, yet there's no sense of boredom or burnout. And a funny part about Hemaji, one of the heavy things in her life right now is learning Sanskrit. And how she's going to be part of this high five challenge, which I'll speak to you more about tomorrow, but you're going to see it visually today. That even though learning Sanskrit is difficult, I was quite overwhelmed by this in the ashram. But if you just change the way you approach this perspective, vision, then nothing is boring. Nothing will cause you to burn out. Awesome.